Hi, let's now talk of how Microsoft Azure enables world-class backup and disaster recovery solutions. Nowadays, common business challenge is how to provide continuity and data protection. And these are critical issues for every organization. How to limiting downtime, reduce costs, and managing complexity of different kind of disaster recovery scenarios, ensuring compliance and providing a scalable solution. Every business needs a backup and preferably disaster recovery solution. In fact, according to Allianz Group research, business disruption is the most significant business risk that companies care about. Azure provides very reasonably priced backup and disaster recovery solutions. And if your customer is eligible for Azure Hybrid benefit, it makes it even more attractive option. Azure provides recovery service vaults that help you organize your backup and site recoveries as you need in different regions, grouping them as you need by replacing all your existing backups solutions on-premise or Azure in one place. And now let's look at demo how we could create a backups and restore from backups. And for that we need to use Azure Disaster Recovery Service Vault that helps us to pack all the backups and all the site recoveries and then manage them. And actually, Recovery Service Vault is like container where you could put all your backups and manage them, monitor them. So it's very, very easy to use and useful. Let's look how we could set up it and create some backups. To find where the Recovery Service Vault is, you need to look at your service list, and if you don't have it in the service list, then you could add it by looking at all services and just find it. Here you have this Recovery Service Vault. You don't need to create them separately. And you, as we see in this example, I have 4 of them. And we could look at what inside it. And of course, you need to create whenever you need some separate service vault, because it's, as mentioned it in slides, you could create a separate service vault for some finance system or maybe for some bookkeeping system or whatever system that, and then split rights. And also this is a good way how to organize your disaster recovery resources. And to create a new recovery service vault, you just need to provide a resource group and or create a new resource group and provide a vault name and a region. And very important is be very careful by selecting some region, because you could back up resources. If we talk about Azure resources, you could back up only to this service vault only those resources that are located in same region. So be careful that if you choose Central Europe, that your resources you can use only resources from the same region. And let's look at some already created service vault. Like here, we open service vault, and as a container we have both options. We could manage backups and site recovery. And if we look at the backups, we can see all the backups we have. We see that we have one backup item, and there is a split between local resources and global resources, geo-redundant services, some statuses for monitoring, but most important, some options of the service vault like properties. There we have this location. We see the North Europe. And it's not possible to change later on, so you need to create a new service vault. And you could see all your backup items under the backup item section, and you see that currently we have Azure Virtual Machine. The new option for backup is SAP HANA in Azure Virtual Machine, a SQL Server in the Virtual Machine, and many other services. And you could also use a Azure Backup Server or Backup Agent for on-premise scenarios. And what else? Very important point is about backup policies. So there are a couple of default policies, but for your particular needs, it's worth to create your own backup policy. For example, if you look at the Azure Virtual Machine or file share or SAP HANA on the virtual machine. So by creating backup policy, we could say frequency of the backup and also what is the retention time of this backup. So it's very important to comply with your backup strategy and SLAs. But if we look at what we have and our backup items, so let's create some backup. And we choose a backup. There are a couple of options. In this case, we use a service option from Service Vault, and there are 3 options for where our resources are running. It's an Azure Stack for hybrid environment, or on-premise scenario. Let's use an Azure, and then we have these 4 options for virtual machines, file share that is still in preview currently, SQL Server on Azure Virtual Machine, and SAP HANA, a quite new option. And if we choose a virtual machine on Azure that we want to backup, we select backup policy, or could create it right away, but it's better to create all the policies before you do any backup. And when you click next, you see that there you could see all the virtual machines available in this region, in the same region, where the same location where this recovery service vault is located. In this case, let's choose this VM for demo virtual machine. We click OK, and we say that everything is good, and we say enable backup, and backup actually started. If we go back and look at backup items, and we currently see this one virtual machine, and this next virtual machine is backupping. So it will take some time depending on the virtual machine size and recovery plan. But now let's look at this already backup virtual machine, and what are restore options. And there are 2 restore options. That we could restore it to the same virtual machine, just restoring the disk drives. And there's if there are still temporary images available, because when the backup creating and copying backup to recovery service vaults, it creates a temporary image copy. And if these images are available, then by restoring these images, it could be very fast, because there is no need to copy data from recovery service vault before that. But if not, it's then it takes a little bit longer. And to recover this first option, you recover to the same virtual machine, or you could restore to new virtual machine. And let's look at the option when you restore to new virtual machine. We see that 2 consistency points. We could choose whatever we want of this, and say recover virtual machine. And as you see, there is 2 options: create new virtual machine from this backup, or replace existing one. And we will create this new virtual machine. We will give a virtual machine new name, VM from backup. The same resource group. We could deliver it to different subnet if it's needed, and also create or use some storage account for that. And let's say okay, validated, and now it's restoring, and we will have it as restored virtual machines alongside the old one, so we could switch over. So, and let's see now on the backup, and you see that we have already 2 virtual machines in our backup items. One is already done, one in progress. So that is how it works. And now let's look at second option at Recovery Service Vault, and it's site recovery. The purpose of the site recovery is to replicate some service. In this case, we will replicate virtual machine that could contain your application and or database, and then it stores an additional copy of your service or virtual machine in some other region, and it could be used for disaster recovery. So if we look at the replicated items, in this case, we see that we have one demo machine, Windows demo machine that is replicated. And if we look at how it's done, we see that it's replicated and in different region. So we see that there is a North Europe where the actual virtual machine is, and the replicated services is in West Europe. You also could see it in a map visually how it's replicated, so you could choose different regions for replication. And we also see the RPO that it's about 1 minute currently, so it changes. It could be less and then more, but currently if disaster appears and we need to recover, it will take 1 minute to switch over. And we could test the recovery failover manually or create automatic jobs, and it could be done automatically. So let's create this replication, see how it's set up. So to create a new replication, we could go to replicated items, or we could use the main menu, and there we say create a new replication. First we define the source. Again, we saw source location is very important, and we say let's select. And in this location we see that there is a VM for demo available, and we select this virtual machine and we say okay. We also could select different other services. It could be on-premise services or cloud services, and we could select the target location for our service. In this case, let's keep this Western Europe. Some additional customizations for target network and managed disks and availability sets. So we could set up additionally, and we just enable this replication, and it's added to our replication set. It will take a couple of minutes and it will be created, so we will be able to run it automatically or manually. And all these replications will be available under the site recovery section, so we could see and monitor the status of them. Also, we could get all these reports in Power BI if we need, and see that our Azure replicated machines or VMware or Hyper-V environment. That's it from my side. I really encourage you to reach out your customers and discuss these scenarios with them. Even they are not considering to go to Azure right now, backup and disaster recovery is a great door opener to build your Azure business in your accounts. I hope you liked this demo. Please make sure you also watch our other 2 videos covering end of support scenarios and solving on-premise infrastructure challenges.